Welcome to the Fishing Musicians Fishing and Travel Adventures.
Ow! Yeah!
That is a beautiful fish.
If anyone can catch a fish, they can catch it right here on the Restigouche.
That's right. This week we are on the Restigouche River in New Brunswick, fly fishing for the Atlantic salmon. Now, the Restigouche is the place where the largest Atlantic salmon ever caught on a fly in North America took place. Yeah, a guy from Texas comes up, throws a line out, hooks a 74-pounder almost 6 feet long. Imagine trying to bring that one in.
An Atlantic salmon on the Restigouche River. Let's let this beautiful fish go.
Once again, I was lucky enough to be invited to Larrys Gulch, owned by the province of New Brunswick, and even luckier to be fishing with Michel Levesque, my guy.
Oh, geez, nice tan, man. Captain Cranium. Flicker flag.
Stay tuned for Larrys Gulch salmon fishing. The Fishing Musicians has been brought to you by Ferguson Audio Productions. If you have a corporate event and require audio-visual services, including sound systems, projection units, large screens, and simultaneous translation, visit www.fergusonaudioproductions.com. Here we are on the Restigouche River in New Brunswick. This beautiful river meanders approximately 200 kilometers. Some say it is the best Atlantic salmon fishing river on the planet. So how does a river so remotely located in the province of New Brunswick draw American presidents, prime ministers, and even British royalty? Well, you're about to find out.
Well, folks, New Brunswick has lots of great adventures, and none more so than fishing the Atlantic salmon on the world-famous Restigouche River. You know, the Restigouche River holds the biggest Atlantic salmon in the world, and in fact, the biggest Atlantic salmon ever caught on a fly rod in North America was done right here, approximately around 6 feet long, around 74 pounds, by a guy from Texas. So all you Americans who want to come up for some great fishing, this is the place to go. We have the best guide in the world right here, Michel Levesque. This guy has guided everyone from ministers, presidents of the United States, George Bush. So let's see if we can catch one of those big fish. He got a 20-pounder this morning. If anyone can catch a fish, they can catch it right here on the Restigouche. So Michel, it's tradition for you and I to sit on the boat.
Yes, sir.
Have a little tune.
Good little song there, Glen.
Play a little songs.
Yes.
One of the, I don't know, play something I always play in the show. It's a river song.
takes a lot of skill, a lot of luck, and effort to catch an Atlantic salmon. Sometimes it doesn't matter where you go, you may not catch one. So to up your chances, you best spend some time with Michel Levesque.
But there's an angle of casting that you need to keep. And that angle would be around 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. That's where your wrist should snap actually. So I'll show you a few. See?
You've been teaching me some techniques. Keep your rod high, and then you let it go. And when you're extending it, and at the point of the fly entering the water and sitting on the water, you do a little pullback.
Yeah.
Yes, like that. That looked quite nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
So what I've incorporated is like a sub-cast. At the extension, the full extension outwards, we drop the fly onto the water, but also we incorporate what they call, or I call, which hasn't worked yet, the flicker flack. It works amazing for me, though I haven't caught a fish on it yet. Here, I'm gonna give her one more flicker flack, watch this. Okay, full extension, full extension. Breathe calmly, become one with the fly and the river at the same time. And we
Flicker flack.
flicker flack. Little fish.
Need a little bit more flicker flacking here.
You're doing the flicker flack, man.
I'm doing the flicker flack. You showed me the flicker flack pretty good
Go
here,
back.
Glen. Okay, 3, 2, release, flicker flack.
It's the flicker flack cast, folks, on the Restigouche. Michel Levesque, Glen Ferguson, we coined that, we made it up, it's right here. It works exceptionally well for us, though we haven't caught anything with it. It looks good. Folks, we're on the Restigouche River here in New Brunswick. We've got what they call a gross on here. It's about 5 or 6 pounds, Michel?
Yeah, it's around 4.5, 4 or 5 pounds anyways. They're the keeper ones. These are the guys we can keep.
Michel actually hooked it, and that's what these guys will do. We're both taking turns casting, as you've seen, and it just so happens that Mike or Michel threw in a dry fly. It's one of those flies that sit on the top of the water. And he came up and grabbed it the first time, so Michel changed his fly. And sure enough, you nailed it, Michel. That's what a great guy does a lot of times.
Well, he didn't want the first one, so we went with 2 other flies. He went for the third one.
Just a small one, but nonetheless, quality.
That's what we call the keepers here.
Got to be real careful with this so we don't rush it. Beautiful fish. So I missed that take. I saw the first time it came up. Is that the same fish that?
Same fish.
Really? So yeah, you can tell that.
Yeah, he was in the same spot as the first roll and the second time also.
One thing about salmon fishing too, folks, you got to kind of feel it out. When they start coming at you, you got to bring it in. When they want to take off, you got to let them take off because that leader is very small. We got an 8-pound leader.
8-pound test on there, yeah.
8-pound with a 6 on top of that, or
they're 8
both
pounds,
8s,
yeah. And the thing is, you got to keep your rod pretty high there, Glen, so that the shock will be absorbed all by the rod all the time, huh? Because that fish can turn around pretty quick.
You can't force these in. As soon as he feels that slack, then you can. That's your chance. Try to lure him towards the boat here.
Oh, he didn't like me now.
No, as soon as they see you too, they.
Oh, they don't like the guys.
No, I'm not going to go in that net yet.
Oh.
That's a tricky place too. When they see that net, they want to take off. So
this is the hard part here.
Let them.
Okay, swing the rod to me there, Glen. Oh, he's going under the boat here. There we go.
Okay, Michel, let's see that grills.
All right.
Folks, a fresh Atlantic salmon. Hooked by Michel. What a beautiful color. Fresh on the sea. Hold that up for the folks at home, Michel. Come on over here so I can give it a kiss.
All right.
Folks, I have it out of all respect of these fish that are incredible in these waters. This is an Atlantic salmon.
Ready to kiss it there, Glen?
Give me your kiss. Hey, buddy,
all
can I
right.
hold it?
Sure. He's a nice
There you
fish.
go, folks. An Atlantic salmon on the Restigouche River. Let's let this beautiful fish go. You want to let him go, Michelle?
Yeah.
Doctor him back to strength.
I'll take it.
Least amount of stress as possible.
He's in good health. He's breeding good.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so beautiful in the water. Just rubbing his belly.
Come on, little guy.
Well, we fished last night.
Here we go.
Yeah, when they want to go, they want to go.
See you next year.
We fished last night, we fished this morning, and you
Good
knew
job,
that we were gonna
man.
get one.
Yes,
Actually,
sir.
you did all the work. You hooked it.
Well,
But it's been a joint effort, I must say, but it takes the real
it's
pro to hook
teamwork.
the fish, right?
It's teamwork.
Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
This was quite the catch. This was caught by a fellow by the name of Ken Jameson and his guide, Charles Adams from Quebec.
Well, if you ride on jig, you ain't got a chance. Make that old make you fin dance. Can't get your fish if you're lying in the water.
The Restigouche River is world-renowned for its Atlantic salmon fishing, and a 55-kilometer stretch of the Restigouche has been designated part of the Canadian Heritage River System as a result. For more than 100 years, the world's wealthiest people have come to enjoy the river's tranquil beauty and perfect canoeing conditions for fishing the Atlantic salmon. Larrys Gulch is one of the most popular lodges on the river. Now, many in this region think that it's only available to politicians and their friends, but that's not entirely true. Larrys Gulch is also open to the public, and there are slots available every year for you to go fishing. Yes, of course it costs money, and it costs a lot of money, but that's not unlike most of the lodges on the river system that are privately owned. And what this does is create a lot of jobs. In fact, over 400 guides are employed every summer on the Restigouche River, not to mention the economic spin-off for the region, and bringing past presidents, premiers, and sports stars to your river system can't hurt.
The early settlers that came to this region were a lot of officers that were granted land from the royals in England following the War of 1812. And when they arrived here, they searched for water rights, and they searched for a lot of places that they could fish the salmon, same as back home in Scotland and England. When they arrived at the Restigouche, of course, they found a paradise for salmon fishing. Fly casting on the river definitely came from the officers that arrived here after the War of 1812. When the sport fishermen arrived, one of the big guests that came first, of course, was Princess Louise, who was the daughter of then Queen Victoria, at a time when Canada was still under the rule of the British Empire. And she came up the river with the river scow, Great Caesar's Ghost, as friends of the Restigouche Salmon Club down below in Camp Harmony. When she arrived here, of course, it was wilderness, and her guide was a gentleman by the name of Larry Vicaire. who was a very strong First Nation guide. He was very well respected on the river, but he did not know the protocol with the royals. He was very abrupt with the princess and very direct, and when he told her to sit in the bottom of the boat, and she didn't, and he handled her and put her in the bottom of the boat. Following that, when she left the region from fishing, she told the scout captain that he figured it was his land, and the scout captain named the property that runs behind us here Larrys Gulch. So the geographical name is what the province of New Brunswick took for the lodge name in 1974, not knowing that it was a First Nation fishing guide. So it was quite appropriate that the name of a First Nation guide was applied to the lodge. And of course, that gentleman was Larry Vicaire from Restigouche, Quebec, or Restigouche, as we like to call it.
Originating in the mountains of western New Brunswick, the Restigouche River flows in a northeasterly direction to the Bay of Chaleur, dividing the provinces of Quebec and New Brunswick in its final 40 miles. Bright salmon begin entering the river in mid-May. From this time through the month of June, the average fish taken is 18 pounds, with better than 10% over 30 pounds. These are magnificently conditioned and incredibly strong fish. It is quality fishing at its very best. The Restigouche River, together with its principal tributaries, the Matapedia, the Patapedia, and the Kedgwick, make up one of the top 10 Atlantic salmon fishing grounds in the world. Between 15,000 and 25,000 salmon enter the Restigouche River each year, which attracts these anglers from all over the world. One of the great things about fishing at any of these lodges on the Restigouche is you don't have to fish all day. Your guides can help you out. They can even hook a fish and then hand it off to you. And then you can feel the excitement that takes place when you hook an Atlantic salmon. The Restigouche is not the only world-famous Atlantic salmon river that flows through New Brunswick. The mighty Miramichi, some may say, is even more popular. It flows through many towns through New Brunswick. One of these towns is Doketown. In Doketown, they have the Atlantic Salmon Museum. In the museum is a replica of the largest Atlantic salmon ever caught on fly in North America.
This was quite the catch. This was caught by a fellow by the name of Ken Jameson and his guide, Charles Adams from Quebec, were fishing in the Restigouche River. And they caught this giant with this fly, which is called a silver rat, which is shown in the photograph here. Took them about an hour and a half to bring this giant out of the river, which I don't think is a long time considering the size of it.
On a fly rod at that.
That's right. And according to the catch and release policy, it was put back in the river so it could continue on its spawning travels.
Oh, geez, nice tan, man. Captain Cranium. Bend down like this, Michelle. Will blast the people at home with a...
Give them a flash.
Let's put our hats on. It's like too bright around here.
You're now entering the cave.
I's the boy that builds the boat, and I's the boy that sails her. I's the boy that gets the fish and brings them home to Lila. This guy is in a bar, and he's sitting beside this beautiful woman, and she's so beautiful, he's scared to even say a word to her. So he stood up to finish his drink and leave. And just as he did, she sneezed, and a glass eye came flying out of her head, and he caught it, and he gave it back to her. And she's putting it back in her head. She's saying, "Thank you so much. You're such a kind man. I had an accident when I was a child. Can I buy you a drink?" Sat down. She had drinks. Then you went to the movies. Then you went dancing. Then you were at her place. And they had fun till the sun came up. So he's in the morning getting dressed up. And he said, "Listen, man, we got to ask you a question. Do you treat every man you out with for the first time like this?" And she said, "Only the ones that catch my eye." I's the boy that builds the boat, I's the boy that sails, I's the boy that gets the fish to make them home to Lila. Now, all you people out there in television land, I know you're in all different parts of the world, but I'm telling you, we've seen somebody walking around here today looks a lot like Elvis.
Singing to the birds, making love to the bees. Work on my fish head. Fish head. Why am I fish head?
This vampire bat flies back in the cave, and he's hanging upside down, and his face is all beat up and his blood dripping out of his moat. And all the other bats can smell the blood. So you all gathered around him going, "Where'd you get the blood? Where'd you get the blood? Where'd you get the blood?" He said, "Get away from me. Where'd you get the blood?" They wouldn't leave him alone. He said, "You want to know where I got the blood? Follow me." 500 bats go through the cave, down along the face of the mountain, this big forest. And they're coming down a wood road. He says, "Stop right here." And they jam the brakes on. "Where'd you get the blood? Where'd you get the blood?" He said, "You see that bend in the road down there?" Yeah, we see it, we see it. He said, "See that big branch hanging across there?" Yeah, we see it. He said, "Well, I didn't." That's another visual. And everybody's having a drink tonight. That's nice, eh? I was reading the paper, alcohol drinking is actually good for you. It removes pimples, warts, blackheads, and moles from the faces of the people you're looking at. My Uncle Fred died of drinking. Drank a whole gallon of varnish. He had a terrible death, but a lovely finish. Well, Uncle Billy died of drinking too. He was working in a brewery, and he fell in a vat of beer and drowned. The police go and did an investigation. He asked the guy stand there, "Sir, did you see what happened?" He said, "Yes, I did." He said, "When he fell in the vat of beer, did he drown right away?" He said, "No, boy. He got out 4 times to go for a leak." Did you ever get so drunk you didn't know who you were? Besides you. You know you're having a bad day when you wake up in the morning and you see the sun coming up over the curb.
Give me a kiss, I'll turn into a beautiful woman for you.
Davis. Holy jeez, nice tan, man. Captain Cranium. Bend down like this. Michelle will blast the people at home with a...
Give them a flash.
Let's put our hats on. It's like too bright around here. Here we go, Michelle. We're going to do a song that I'm coming up with right now that you and I are coming up with. It's called the Flicky Flack Do. He's putting the Flicky Flack Do on it. It's gink.
Flicker flag do.
Put some Flicky Flack Do on that fly, boo-boo. What's it called, Michelle?
Rat-faced.
Rat-faced. Oh, well, if you don't catch the fish this morning, that's okay. You know, I'll never hire you again, but, and you'll never get paid. Oh!
Good one. That's a big one.
You've got a big fish on here, folks, and one of the great things about the guides here, like Michelle, is that they'll pinpoint these fish. You saw one roll, he threw on the dry fly. Did it take the original one that you saw, Michelle?
Actually, it rolled right underneath the fly, so I gave him a few minutes and went back for it.
You got to be really careful. This is a pretty important fish here. It's moving around a bit, but what's the size? How big do you think it is?
I'd say at least 15, 18 pounds.
Ooh.
Looks like a nice size.
So Michelle and I will probably even take turns bringing this in because I really want to get this to the boat. And Michelle is far more experienced at it than I am. So this is a joint effort, folks. This fish is about 15 to 18 pounds. We're on the Restigouche River in New Brunswick. They catch the biggest Atlantic salmon here, and this is kind of even a small one for these parts, and it's still about 18 pounds.
See how much that guy weighs?
Well, that was worth the million casts we did, Michelle?
Yes, sir. 17.
17! We like to catch and release the fish here, folks. You don't have to catch and release every one. But that is a beautiful fish. Restigouche salmon. Let's put him back, catch and release to make babies for the next time. This is a big female.
Yeah, she's a nice one.
She's ready to go, too.
Oh, yeah, she's lively.
A big thanks to Michelle Levesque once again for being such a great guide, a great guy, and always full of laughs. My name is Glen Ferguson, your host of the Fishing Musicians, and until next time, keep those guitars in tune, keep your lines tight, and please take care. Cheers.
Kaboom.
Kapow, flick flack. Let's go. Away. We're going to take you to the museum in Doketown, New Brunswick, where it has a replica of So we're here at the Miramichi Salmon Museum in Doketown, New Brunswick. We're with the manager. We're at the Miramichi Salmon Museum in Doketown, New Brunswick. We're with our manager. Let me try it again.
And he was with his guide, and oops, I blew it now.
Oh, that's fine. We're here at the Miramichi Salmon Museum in Doketown, New Brunswick. I screwed it up now. Take 7. We should do the flicker flack aerobics.
Oh, yeah. That'd be hard on the heart, though.
Like the flicker flack. The flicker flack. Everybody do the flicker flack.